here's Ed Bernstein.
You know, we have in Las Vegas a little gem for entertainment over at the Smith Center at the Cabaret Jazz Room. And today we have two guests that are going to be there in the next 30 days, Rich Natole and Jimmy Hopper. And Rich, you're going to be there, boy, it's coming up quick, October 16th,
October
right?
16th,
Monday.
7 p.m.
And you're bringing a variety show to the Smith Center. Now, you yourself could be your own variety show. You're a man of 300 plus voices. So, I mean, you could do your own variety show. Why do you need to bring other people? I mean, you can imitate somebody else.
We want to
easily,
give them
right?
more bang for the buck. You know, we want to bring in. We got some tremendous talent on the bill. We have female magician of the year, Ariane Black, who her and I did a tour in January in Arizona. And we had packed houses there. She's terrific. She's going to be opening the show there after I bring her on. And then we have Trina Johnson Finn, who is a Whitney Houston tribute artist, terrific powerhouse. And closing out, I have stunt comedian Max Winfrey. This guy can juggle everything. He even juggles literally the kitchen sink. I mean, this guy's amazing. And he headlines cruise ships all over the world. So it's going to be a great evening. Everybody should come out.
And people get a little dose of some of your voices at the same time?
Yeah, I'll be doing voices throughout the thing and in between and in the beginning. And, you know, some of the people that I love doing, the classic people. You might see Johnny Carson. You might see Johnny there. You might see Jay Leno. He might make an appearance. Or Jerry Seinfeld. You know, Halloween's coming. What's the deal with vampires if they can't see themselves in the mirror? Why is their hair so perfect? I don't know. So they'll be there. I just try to throw in a whole. You're reminding me of Regis. I'm turning into Regis right in front of Ed Bernstein. It's nice to be here on the Ed Bernstein Show. You interviewed Regis, right?
I interviewed Regis. Actually, I had a connection with Regis because my uncle is a designer. Designed his house.
Oh,
and
wow.
Johnny Carson's too.
Is that
for
right?
That matter. Yeah.
Yeah. How was Regis? Was he nice to you?
Oh yeah, but he sounds just like that.
He gets excited about things.
Well, even when he's quiet, he sounds like that. But, so when you're doing a voice, you're thinking of the most extreme voice. I mean, exaggerating the voice.
Well,
more?
You try to bring out, you know, and it's funny because I was talking to Rich Little about this because Rich Little's been on like 3 of my shows when I interviewed him on the radio, and it's wonderful to talk to other impressionists about this because we agreed that the hook is always 90% in the mouth area. Like if you're doing Donald Trump, these people are losers, they'll never be winners. They're all losers. You know, you notice his mouth when he speaks.
Yes,
and if you're doing, like, even if you're doing Ronald Reagan,
you got the head shake.
and your head shakes, the voice comes out. You know.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Stewart would talk like that. Say everything was an R. Wah. You know.
So somebody like Rich Little. Okay, you can't imitate
Godfather of voices.
Right, but you can't imitate his natural voice.
Yes, I can.
You can?
And I've done this. Rich Little talks like this. I'm going to do some famous politicians. Yes, that's what I'm going to do.
It's almost a little Reagan-esque.
Yeah, little Reagan-esque. And when I did Rich Little for Rich Little, he goes, my God, that does sound like me. He's a great guy, Rich Little. And it's so nice to do voices. We were doing dueling Bill Clinton impressions. We were doing these impressions together on the show, him and I.
Let's talk about some of the more difficult. Who's like somebody difficult to
well, you know, Obama was really difficult.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
because his cadence, I think people were able to imitate him with his cadence.
Let me be clear. He rushed the end of his sentences.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me talk like this.
Yeah.
But he was a little bit difficult to work on and stuff. Some of the ones I like do now, I try to stay contemporary. I try to do the classics, the older, the classics, and the new. And I work on people like, you know, Peter Griffin from The Family Guy, you know, wearing those good old-fashioned values, you know, those kind of voices. And because I do show that's clean, people bring their families too. Like the Smith Center show, you can bring your family, folks. Bring your family. I'm turning into Don Rickles. Bring your family. Thanks for dressing for the show.
But your eyes also become Don Rickles when you're doing that imitation.
Yeah.
What's the first impression you've ever done?
The first impression I ever did was probably John Wayne. It was John Wayne.
And I think every kid, starts with the John Wayne.
Well, people would say to me, John, why are your pants always all wet? I said, well, your pants would be all wet too if every time you're standing at a urinal, the guy next to you turns and says, hey, aren't you John Wayne? So,
okay, Pilgrim.
Pilgrim. So I loved, and I had this conversation again with Rich Little. We loved movies and celebrities. And like Rich Little worked at a theater, and he goes, oh, I would go in there and sit all day and just watch all the movies. He goes, and I thought I was going to get fired because I was never working. I was always watching the celebrities. And I was like that because I worked at a theater called the Circle Star Theater, Northern California, where everybody played. Sinatra, Sammy Davis, everybody played there. And I got to watch all the shows, and I just thought, this is amazing, what these people do. And I thought, I want to do that,
Right, and so after you did John Wayne, when did you realize you really had an ability for this?
Well, in high school, I had about 10 voices that I did. It was Jimmy Stewart, and I did, at the time, Hubert H. Humphrey. I did Hubert H. Humphrey and Nixon.
But you went right for, these, political people, these people in the news. You didn't do, I think most kids start with, Bugs Bunny, cartoon characters.
No cartoons.
You didn't do any cartoons?
No cartoons. It was always the celebrities and the politicians that I just noticed their voices, And so I put together this little routine that I had in high school around the Ed Sullivan Show, and I did Ed Sullivan, and now here's our next politician, and I would bring it out and I would do the things, and my friends said, you have to do the show because we get out of class if we have enough acts in the show. So they said, we need one more act, do the show, and I had never done anything. I said, I'm not doing that. They said, no. They pushed me out there, and I just kept doing it. Then I started in the San Francisco comedy clubs after that.
Right. Now, can you do an impression and sing?
Yeah, I do sing impressions in the show, sure. Yeah, Willie Nelson, and I do Johnny Cash a lot. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend. Yeah, I do some singers, and Johnny Mathis, look at me. Yeah, so I'll do a few of those in the show in the Smith Center.
Who is somebody today, that you're kind of working on that you don't have mastered yet?
Nobody that I haven't mastered yet. I notice a lot of. notice a lot of the people that have distinct voices, and some of the new guys don't have as distinct, the movie star people, as the classic guys like Stallone and these guys that right away, hey yo, the voice would come out, So some of the newer guys, you want to bring out whatever they have.
Right.
And if they don't have a lot to bring out, you're just, And Rich Little said the same thing. He said, yeah, some of these guys, he goes, there's not a lot to bring out. I said, yeah, I know. That's why we go for politicians, because they have more to bring out.
And especially now, because it looks like news is really covering these politicians 24/7. They're always getting more and more airtime than celebrities get.
Right. One of the classic news guys that I loved from television, and I met him years and years and years ago before he passed away, was, remember Ted Knight from the Mary Tyler Moore Show?
Yeah.
Sorry, Mayor Lou, Mayor. Oh, classic. I think news people are funny, and sometimes they don't even know they're funny.
Right. And how about somebody like, let me try to think of somebody that's on the news, Anderson Cooper?
Yeah, see, now Anderson Cooper, I look at that and I go, there's not a lot vocally going on.
Right.
So you just try to capture, whatever they had vocally, like Letterman had that, ladies and gentlemen, on the program this evening, and he had that distinctess, and Carson had that, and Regis had that, and you got to find that,
So it also seems to me to be the cadence of this. Like David Letterman had a certain cadence. We talked about Obama's cadence and speeding up at the end.
Right. Jimmy Stewart had no cadence.
Just a mouthful of marbles.
A mouthful of marbles. And even when you dig way back and you think of Howard Cosell had that cadence. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Ed Bernstein on the show. And you're right. There's a cadence to the voice, and there's that hook that you run with. So
let's talk about the show you're going to do at Smith Center at the that's on Monday night, October 16th. coming up around the corner. You're going to be doing your voices, you're going to be emceeing and
Yeah, I'm
bringing
going to
in
come
the
out and
other
do
talent?
about 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll bring on the first act, which will be Ariane Black doing her magic.
What kind of magic does she do? Is
She
this
does
close-up
great.
magic?
Yeah, no, she does
or-
like stage illusions, and yeah, she's terrific, and there's music behind it and everything, and just great.
And let's talk about, you have a radio show also.
Yeah, 1400 AM, listening to the Vegas Voice every Tuesday from 10 to 11 AM.
Right, and you're doing impressions as well as doing interviews?
We throw in some, but it's really not the show. I don't make it about me. It's really about the guests. And,
Right.
and Ed has agreed to come on the show, folks.
Yeah. But you don't even need me. You can just, or any
No.
guest, you can just do both parts.
No,
right?
but I love, I love to bring new talent on and singers and play their songs. And I play the whole song of a singer so people can hear them and get them some exposure, as well as the celebrities that we interview on there. And John Lindquist, I don't know if you know John. John is the golden voice of radio. John and I work together at KLAV, and I brought him over to co-host with me over there, and he's great.
Now, can you do accents as well as impressions, foreign accents?
You
Do an English accent?
Well, New York, Hey, what are you talking about here, huh? But I don't. As far as British accent, like Australian. Remember, one of my favorite guys is remember, Paul Hogan from.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereabouts you from, mate? I'm about from Walkabout Creek up of the Northern Territory. Oh, that's not a knife now. That's a knife. So. I'd actually do a thing when I do my headlining show called Name That Voice, a little game show where I bring two people up, a man and a lady, and I do voices that I haven't done yet in the show, and they have to guess who they are.
Oh, that's a great premise for a game show.
It would, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
We ought to produce that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks. Yeah, I mean, you
would be
can.
good.
Yeah, and then you can actually use that voice, and people can ask for clues, and you can talk about your life in that voice, kind of like, what's my line? Remember in the old days, we used to have the panel be blindfolded and have somebody come in, celebrity guests come in and have to guess who it was.
Right.
You can do the same thing with the voice.
We got to do it. We should do it. And but I do that in the show, and then I just try to do a mix. I want people's mother, father, them, and their kids to enjoy the show and have something in there for them.
Well, doesn't good comedy do that anyway?
I think, nowadays, I don't know. I think.
Well, I mean, like I asked you earlier before the show, like, who would you like to interview? You mentioned Jerry Seinfeld. I mean, his comedy does, translate into all those generations.
Right, and then that's a great example. And Louis Anderson too. Right. Louis great, and too. But you're talking about family comics.
Yes.
That encompass. But I don't think Chris Rock would be. A couple of things drive me crazy. I don't think he would be.
How about a female voice? You have any mastered any
I
of those?
do a couple of the classic ones. Like Carol Channing. Oh, thank you very much. Or Edith Bunker was so popular for so many. Oh, gee, I'm so glad you're home. But I do mostly the guys. Because and mostly the guys because they just have. I don't know the register of my voice. I can pick those up really quick.
Now, the president was in town recently. Everybody seems to be doing his voice. I mean, everybody.
Yes.
I mean, from Colbert to, to everybody, right? I mean, Jimmy Fallon does it, Colbert. I mean, they all do it.
Yeah, that's right.
They sound pretty good, I think.
Because he talks like this. He's got a little bit of a New York accent. If you notice Trump, when he says, I'm going to New York, I love the people, I love the town.
Right.
But again, it's the mouth.
Right, he's done wonders for the comedy field, Trump. Just wonders, right?
Wonders. And that's the thing. That's why we do these politicians as impressionists, because the material is endless. I mean, the mileage I'm still getting off of Clinton. It's amazing.
Did you ever try to do Hillary?
She's distinct, but no, I just started to actually listen to her when she was running, because I'm thinking, well, this could be the next president.
Right.
And then when I saw the polls, what was happening, I went, you know what? I think Trump's going to be the guy. Let me go in that direction.
Well, it's easier for you.
Yeah, it's easier. Right? It's easier for me.
On one hand, hey, you got to root for
There's
the
more
male,
material
right?
in Trump.
More for the men presidents than the women presidents for you.
Yeah. And the thing is, see, as a guy though, with a female president, we'd love to see a female president, but you got to be careful now if you're doing jokes and it's the first woman president.
Right.
they're going to go, oh, the groups are going to come out, hey, he's attacking women. No, it's just the president.
How about Oscar Goodman? You ever try Oscar?
Never tried him.
Anybody local?
Never tried. The people that come in and out of this town, because it's such a filter, and I love guys like John Lovitz.
Right.
Nobody does John Lovitz, and when I met John Lovitz, I said, John Lovitz from the movie League of Their Own, if you saw that movie. I don't want you, I want her, the one who hit the ball. You can climb back under the cow.
Excellent.
I love it. And he goes, that's really good. I said, I love doing you. The people love John Lovitz.
Yeah. Hey, you can catch Rich Natole at Smith Center I was saying Cabernet.
Yeah, no, it's on your mind.
Cabaret Jazz Room on Monday. This Monday, October 16th. And we'll be right back with Jimmy Hopper, because Jimmy's also going to be there about 2 weeks after you are.
Jimmy Hopper, great entertainer.
And the diversity you have with the voice he has with music.
That's it.
We'll be right back. Fatigue causes 72,000 crashes a year. One pedestrian is killed every 2 hours. Bicycle injuries result in 500,000 ER visits a year. Be careful, be safe, and stay alert.
EdBernstein.com.
That's a little bit of Jimmy Hopper, who's here in the studio.
Hello, Ed.
Hey, Jim. And now I mentioned that this Smith Cabaret Jazz, you're going to be there November 1st.
November 1st, Wednesday, November 1st. And we're
tickets are going fast.
Yeah. My manager with us today, Steve Arnold, he called me like 2 weeks ago, and he said, we've only got like 24 tickets left. I went, what? He says, yeah, I think we're going to sell out. And now I think we're down to like 4 or 5. Yeah,
well, so maybe there'll be demand for bring them back.
Well, if we only have 4 left, I'll buy them. So it looks like we're
sold out show.
We're sold out. Who you bringing? A couple of people off the street just want, but
yeah.
And I've never worked that room, so I'm really excited about it.
Well, it seems like it's really. Well, I know I've been there. I've seen Clint Holmes and a few other people there. Frankie Moreno,
I love Clint.
And so intimate. I mean, you can really interact with your guests.
Yeah, it's kind of up close and personal in a sense. I like that. I'm also bringing in Miroslava Homik, a violinist that performed with me for years in Orange County. She's beautiful, and she's now a doctor of violin, I guess, if you're the music. And she's also the first string violinist here in Vegas. She lives in LA, but she auditioned, and she's the first string violinist in the actual big theater, which I have never seen. I think that holds about 1,800 people, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I've never been to the real big, the biggest theater there.
I was talking earlier to Rich Natole. He's a man of 300 voices.
He was great.
Yeah, but you have, you're so underrated with your talent, I think. I'm going to use the term underrated. I mean, you have so much musical ability and so much material that you sing. It seems like you can just go on and on. It's never ending. What your knowledge of lyrics and music, and it's all self-taught, right?
I am all self-taught, and interesting enough, it's almost like we as singers, some of us are like Rich, your friend Rich, because I can impersonate a lot of singers, but I don't try to. Sometimes I will, I'll do a Satchmo or whatever. I can sound like many people, but I'd rather sound like me and do it my way. But if somebody, sometimes I'll just try to be funny and do it that way, and they'll go, man, you sounded just like Neil Diamond, or whatever. Right. So we're sort of in the same.
But that's kind of natural, right? When you're doing a cover of somebody, you kind of, pick up those nuances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Covers it's what we mostly all do. I do original music as well, but the covers but putting your own spin on it is basically what I try to do, and people know that. They recognize that and they acknowledge me for that. Especially my other peers, the other musicians. They're right. Man, the way you did that last tune. And Clint does that as well. He's always putting his own spin on things.
Right. So before I run out of time, you brought your guitar, like you do something. But let me just mention to our audience, your guitar is really your second instrument, your backup instrument. I mean, you're basically a pianist. Or you are a pianist. Right?
Well,
when you perform, you're on the piano.
I'm on the piano all the time.
Right.
Unless I was touring with Royal Caribbean, and their showrooms are huge, and they provide a 9-piece orchestra. But even then, I play the piano, but not as much. I have to do that whole running up and down the,
Right.
you know what you do when you have to on stage that big. And but the guitar was my first instrument. Never thought I'd even be able to play the piano. I didn't even sit down behind the piano until I was in my 20s. You know, and now I'm in my 30s. It's a joke. That is a joke. Yeah, I'll just do a little bit of something here. I didn't know what to do. You know, it's really tough this week to be performing. I'm at the Tropicana all week, and it's just so hard to go in there and to be uplifting. But you need to be, you know, because the people that don't live here, that have come here for conventions and that sort of thing, you know, they're here, they're spending the money, and you have to be entertained. Yeah. But the locals, we all feel what's going on, and we're all sad about that. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams you dare to dream, they do, really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up with the clouds far beyond, where colors melt like lemon drops way up on the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds, they fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. I can't die. Birds fly over the rainbow. I can't die. If happy little bluebirds fly, then tell me why, oh why, oh why can't I?
Very nice.
This early in the morning.
I was going to say, I mean, you really have a beautiful voice, and you're able to really channel that voice into the type of song that you're playing. I mean, normally when I hear you doing a lot of great rock classics, and you know, your voice sounds
I love
differently.
Singing ballads, man. I just love singing ballads. I'm a ballad singer, and you're right. I think I've gotten better vocally, and maybe it's just because, you know, with age and we learn, we mature, we know how to use our voices better, that sort. But for me, it's been when I started singing opera. That's when it really started taking off for me, because people, you know, they see me on stage, and well, first when I walk out and people aren't familiar with me or whatever, and they're seeing a show, they're like, "What is this? Who? What is that?" You know, or something. And I sing and I do my thing and I grab them. But then I love throwing that curveball. I love doing something that they're just not going to expect whatsoever. And that's when I start singing the opera, and it's like, okay, this guy's a freak, but we're
No. I mean, I've seen you several times, and you always surprise, because you start out doing these covers and you say, okay, this guy's pretty good, and then the next song is a totally different number, and you totally start to surprise and elevate what you're doing, and it's an amazing experience, because you have such versatility.
Well, you're a nice man.
In your voice. No, you really do.
You,
it's you really got an incredible voice.
Thank you so much.
You mentioned you're on the Royal Caribbean. Now, you get a little bit nervous with all the hurricanes down there? I mean, obviously you're touring the Caribbean, right?
Right, and it's funny, the last one I was on was just a few weeks ago, after everybody got hit, you know, and we're out and we missed it, but we're sitting on the ocean, and I remember, you know that term, the calm before the storm?
Yeah, sure.
Well, it was so calm. I mean, it was like on a lake, and we're out in the ocean. And it was like, I'm telling you, it was like a lake. I mean, there wasn't even any waves. And And I was thinking, wow, is this something we're going to hit or something? But we never did. I've been fortunate so far. I've never been on a cruise where it was like, whoa. I mean, a couple of them, I was up there playing the piano with a band, you're like, woo, wow. But nothing really bad to where, sometimes you're walking, you're walking down the halls or whatever, and you'll just start going like this because it's a little rough, but not bad. Not bad. I haven't experienced anything really bad yet.
How do you protect, I guess is the word, your fingers, your hands? I mean, you're so dependent, you're always using so much of your hands, your fingers on the piano, on the guitar. Which is more difficult, physically? The piano?
Yeah, because piano's much more physical. It's almost like a workout because I'm a banger.
Right.
I mean, I bang the keys. People, I hit them hard. I don't play it like this. I do my arpeggios or whatever, but I do when I'm doing like rock songs or something, I bang it. I hit it hard, and I feel it at the end of the night. I feel it in my arms. And guitar is just, guitar's the same way. Guitar. I mean, I used to play I bang these as well, but this is nothing compared to it, and I just blow that out.
You just get those blisters. No, you're fine. You're fine.
I taught myself to kind of be more of a Feliciano kind of player, just like using it like an instrument. You go. It's percussive. That's what it is.
So you get the drums in there with percussion.
I used to play
guitar.
drums. I used to play like percussions, and when I first came to Vegas, I would include in my show percussions on one of the numbers. Back when what's her name, Gloria Stefan, all her great songs. So I would do a couple of songs and play timbale and conga and bongo.
Hey, November 1st, you're going to be, once again, Smith Center. And
I'm at the Smith Center. It's going to be great.
Tickets are going quick.
They are.
And I understand, I didn't have a chance to talk to you about it now, but we'll talk about it next time. You're considering going into America's Got Talent. We'll see what happens.
How'd you know about that?
I got my sources.
You got your sources.
Yeah. November 1st, Jimmy Hopper at the Smith Center. Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Eddie.
I'm just heartbroken after the mass shooting in Las Vegas. So many innocent people have lost their lives and many others have been injured. Our thoughts are with their families and everybody enduring yet another senseless tragedy. God bless our community.